In 627 BC, God spoke a single declaration over Jeremiah that would terrify the enemy for the next 2,600 years. Scholars later wrote, "This verse is devastating to Satan's strategy because it proves your calling was activated before you were born." Most believers think this is ancient history, but these Hebrew words are a present tense activation decree that applies to every believer. And what's shocking is that most Christians have never been taught to speak this over themselves. The devil doesn't want you to understand these words, because if you do, you stop feeling disqualified and realize God activated your calling before time began. If you've ever thought, "I'm too young, too broken, too late," if you felt like God couldn't possibly use someone like you, this message is for you. I'm going to show you the exact prophecy, the 3 Hebrew words that prove you're already activated, and why speaking this over yourself detonates the calling God placed in you before you were born. But first, you need to see what God actually said to Jeremiah, and why it's not just history, it's your activation decree. The prophecy is Jeremiah 1:5. "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations." Sounds like ancient history, right? Something God said to one prophet. But God spoke it in Hebrew. And what he actually said was a 3-part legal activation with the force of eternal decree. Let me show you what's really happening in these words. First, before I formed you, I yada you. Yada isn't new about you. It's the Hebrew word for intimate covenant knowing, chosen relationship before time. When Adam yarded Eve, intimate covenantal. Before I formed your body, I knew you in covenant. I chose you before time began. Your calling didn't start when you got saved. It started in eternity past. Second, before you were born, I Qadash you. Qadash isn't "I'll use you someday." It's set apart, consecrated, sanctified for holy purpose. Past tense, done. I set you apart before your first breath. I consecrated you. Your calling isn't future, it's already activated. You're stepping into what God already placed. Third, I Nathan you. Nathan isn't "maybe you'll qualify," it's appointed, commissioned, full authorization granted. God didn't suggest Jeremiah might become a prophet. He appointed him, authorized him, done. In 107 AD, Ignatius spoke 3 words before being fed to lions, and eyewitnesses say the soldiers stepped back and the chains grew light. He wrote urgently. These 3 words are not confession, they are a legal decree. When spoken in faith, they strip the enemy of every claim. Most Christians say them in worship, but have no idea they're wielding a weapon. And here's the disturbing part. Most Christians think these words are just nice worship language, but in the 1st century, speaking them got you executed. The devil doesn't want you to understand what they actually mean, because the moment you do, every claim he holds collapses. If your prayers feel weak, if you felt powerless against accusation and shame, I'm going to show you the 3 words, the Greek legal framework behind them, and why Satan cannot stand when you speak them with authority.
No.
But first, you need to understand what Ignatius discovered, and why these words were considered treason. The 3 words are, Jesus is Lord. You've said them 100 times. But in the 1st century, these weren't religious words, they were treason. In the Roman Empire, everyone was required to declare, Caesar is Lord, a loyalty, oath, legal acknowledgement of absolute authority. When Christians said Jesus is Lord instead, they were announcing a rival government. That's why they were executed. The word Lord is Kyrios, the Greek word for Yahweh, God's covenant name. Romans 10:9, if you declare Jesus is Lord, you will be saved. Paul's not saying say a nice prayer, he's saying declare Jesus holds absolute authority and you transfer jurisdictions. Courtroom language, you're filing a legal claim. Philippians 2:10-11, every knee should bow, in heaven and on earth and under the earth, and every tongue acknowledge that Jesus Christ is Lord. Under the earth, demons, Satan himself. One day, even the enemy will confess Jesus is Lord, but you enforce that reality now. When you say Jesus is Lord, 3 things happen. 1. You reposition under his jurisdiction. 2. You strip the enemy of any claim. 3. You activate the authority of his name. Say this decree with me, Jesus is Lord, I am under his jurisdiction. Satan, you have no claim. Every accusation, dismissed. Jesus is Lord, and I enforce that now, in Jesus' name. Say it out loud right now. Not in your head, the enemy needs to hear it. Because this isn't prayer, it's a jurisdiction transfer. The early church said it facing lions because they knew if Jesus is Lord, nothing else is. Not shame, not fear, not your past. Type, Jesus is Lord in the comments right now. Because the moment you declare it, you transfer jurisdictions. This is the King's Ministries and we're taking back ground.